Hi there, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm back again. Please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button at the end of this video and help me out and get my numbers out. So, today's video is one I've been umming and ahhing about doing for a while. Not because it's a bad card or not because I didn't want to do it. It's just how to do it, because this is the card that I think I'm seeing more and more frequently on MTGO at the moment. I think it's becoming one of the key commanders to come out of March of the Machine. Of course, I am talking about Etali, Primal Conqueror, stroke the Primal Sickness. I've got the alternate art version, as you can see on my MTGO account, hence why the picture may look a bit strange to you, but it is definitely Etali. Anyway, 7, so 2 red and 5 for a 7/7 trample, and when Etali enters the battlefield, each player exiles cards from the top of their library until they exile a non-land card. You then cast any number of spells from among the non-land cards exiled this way without paying their mana costs. So 7 mana you get 4 extra spells. It's like a massive cascade thing. It's got to enter the battlefield though, so it's not quite as good as cascade, but you know, principles near. And then you can play 9 and a Phyrexian green to transform Etali into the Primal Sickness, and then it's got Trample, Indestructible, and when it deals combat damage to a player they get that many poison counters. Basically, in MTGO at the moment, as it stands, if you can get one hit in with Etali Primal Sickness, you kill the person you're hitting. But from my point of view, that's secondary. I'm not worried about the poison side of it. Yes, it may happen with this deck. Yes, it's good if it happens. It speeds the game up no end. But I'm really interested in this, like the front side with the casting cost, where we get to play the spells for nothing. Because there's a couple of things I want to try and do with this, and there's a couple of little combos in this deck, and I'm hoping they work out. So this is what the deck looks like today. I've gone heavy on the mana base. I'm going to start there. We'll start with the mana base because it is quite big and it is quite interesting from that point of view. I'm actually playing 40 lands in this deck. I am playing every single dual red and green land I have in my collection. Guild Gate, Game Trail, Guild Gate, the Turf, the Refuge, the Thickets, the Glades, Racer's Ring, Rugged Highlands, Slagwoods, Spire Garden, Stomping Ground, Temple of Abandon, and Timber Gorge. They're all here. They're all the ones I own. Then a whole load of mountains and a few green sources. Not quite as many as we've got for the red side of things, but we've got 9 basic forests. In addition, Mox Tantalites here, Soul Talismans here, Jeweled Lotuses here, Soul Rings here. And so that's the mana and the land ramp. But what I really want to do is get to 7 mana with this deck as quickly as possible and get Etali into play. And I've gone a little bit heavier on the ramp side than I would do in a deck. And then the spells I'm playing, hopefully, give us a bit more benefit when we get them to cast off Etali, in addition to whatever we nick off our opponents. So, just to start at the beginning, I have put Wheel of Fate in because I do want to be cycling through my deck. And so Wheel of Fate kept the cost of the deck down a little bit instead of playing Wheel of Fortune. We got Lightning Bolt for a bit of removal. Collective Voyagers keep becoming one of my favourite cards. You pay a green and then you pay all the extra mana you've got and you get to get that many basic lands. Now that gives everyone the same amount of basic lands, but they come into play tapped. You could play the Amulet to make them come into play untapped if you wanted to. You could take out one of the other cards I've got coming up, but I've gone with this for now. I'll see how it plays out when I play it, and if I think I need to put the Amulet Vigor in, I will do to get those lands untapped. But, you'd be surprised how many people like sinking mana into this, which really helps us out, so bear that in mind. Moving on, Traverse the Overworld, because it's a 1 mana search a land out. Yes, it goes in your hand, but whatever. And then Expedition Maps here. Now, Expedition Map is for part of the little mini combo I've put in. So, Expedition Map is purely there to go and get one of the lands, which I didn't mention, which you may have seen, is Rogue's Passage, because I want to make my creatures unblockable. Now, obviously, if we've got the 11/11 side of Etali up, getting it through unblockable means you kill someone instantly. Unless they can remove an 11/11, Path to Exile, Condemn, so on and so forth. Even Terror will do it in this case. But it does make it unblockable and does make it really hard to deal with. But that's not the reason why it's here for the 11-11. It's actually here for the 7-7 side. And I'll come to why when we get there. But just bear in mind, we've got Rose Passage sitting there to be fetched out with our expedition map. It is a red deck, so dockside's in, obviously. We need the ramp. This will hopefully produce us a whole load of artifact treasure tokens. And then we've got a few little things. So we've got Dragon Fodder, we've got Krenko's Command, just to give us some early blockers. Grape Shots here as well, because, you know, if we stack it right, we can get some damage in off Grape Shot if we exile it with Etali. Lightning Strikes here for a bit more targeted removal. Gaea's Blessing to, you know, if it gets milled. And I'm starting to see a few milled decks appearing. But, you know, worst comes to worst, we get to shuffle 3 key cards from our graveyard back into our library. That's fine. Prosperous Innkeeper, just to give us a treasure and a little bit of life gain. Then Rampant Growth, Sylvan Scrying, 3 visits to help us get our mana online quickly, you know, along with Arcane Signet. And Environmental Sciences, you might as well play the lesson. It's colourless, it's like a 2 mana colourless Rampant Growth, and you gain a couple of life. I'm probably going to start playing this card more because, you know, when I'm playing a blue-black deck or a non-green base deck, it's very hard to do the ramp. Well, green and white's okay for the ramp. The other 3 colours, not so much. So I'm probably going to start playing this more. I'd forgotten about it. And it was reminded to me on a stream when I was playing against someone who played it against me. I went, you know, that's a key card. Could be really good. So, Cunning Spark Mage is here just for a little bit of damage. But there is a reason for this as well. Hordling Outburst, if we can hit that, that's 3 blockers. That's fine. And then we've got Cultivate to get the lands out, Omen of the Hunt to go and find some basic lands, Search for Tomorrow to suspend and get a basic land, and Tireless Provisioner to hit all those landfall triggers and get those treasure tokens we need to make sure we can get Etali out on time. That's the reason Big Score's in here, along with Unexpected Windfall as well. I don't mind discarding a card to get draw 2 and get a treasure or 2. Sarkhan's Unsealing. One of the cards I think is going to be key in the deck, I'll be honest. When you cast Etali, you get to do 4 damage to each opponent, each planeswalker they control, or anything else of the creatures we've got coming in. You just get to, you know, do 4 damage to anything you want. So that seemed good to me. Chain Reactions here to control the board, as usual. Koth, Fire of Resistance. I don't think people play this enough. I really like Koth. You know, he comes in 4 mana for a 4 loyalty planeswalker. You then pay 2 and go and get a mountain. He goes up to 6 loyalty, which actually makes him quite difficult to deal with. And if you can keep doing that and get it up and get Koth up, so you can hit that magic 7, so you can do the -7 bit. Yeah, I like making sure that when my mountains come into play, I get to do 4 damage to anything. Yeah, seems like a cunning plan. But you know, the 4 loyalty, 4 mana +2, good in my book. Torbrand's here. Might as well get the extra damage in while we can. Again, it forms sort of like the second part maybe of the combo I'm looking at. I'm getting there. You might have spotted it already, but I am getting there. Circuitous Route, Explosive Vegetation, Ranger's Path are all there to go and get some lands. Curious Herd, just so we can have some blockers, because there's a lot of artifact decks kicking around at the moment online. Garrick, so we can untap the lands we might need to do to get Etali out a couple of turns earlier. Domri Chaos Bringer gives us that lovely riot ability. We can put a +1/+1 counter or haste on it, and we get that extra mana ramp, so that's nice. And you know, if we can do the -8 bit as well, an emblem with the beginning of each end step, create 4/4 red and green beast token with trample, I would be happy with that entirely. Likewise, Xenagos is here. Get a Satyr to block with to start when you first play it, or you can +1 and get, if you've got a few creatures in play, get some extra mana. Might mean you get Etali cast quicker. You can replace some of these with some of the red instants, but there's a reason you don't want to do that with Etali, because you know their instants, what you're going to spend 5 mana on, 3 mana on, if you get it off Etali. So you're better off having the perming upside of ramp from my point of view. Hence why they're here. Burn Down the House. A little bit more board control if we need it, or you know, some devils if we need them just to ping things and have blockers. Terror of the Peaks is a no-brainer in this deck. You get it into play with the amount of token creatures we have. You know, you can ping people, you can zap people, you can do some serious damage when Etali hits, comes into play. So you know, it's here. It's like a creature version to a certain extent of Sarkhan's Unsealing. It just, you know, it works with all the creatures instead of anything that costs 4 or more. So, we'll see. Jaheira's Respite's a nice one. It's kind of a powerful fog effect. You get to go with those basic lands where the X is number of creatures attacking you, and then you prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn. So a 5 mana fog that ramps you. Yes, please. I will play this quite a lot now. Thanks. The new version of Vorinclex is also in the deck. I haven't found a home for Vorinclex yet. I keep trying to think of how to build Vorinclex as its own commander, and I can't think of it at the moment. So I decided to just chuck it in here and try it out a little bit. If I can get it to turn into the Grand Evolution, I think we're on course for something fun and brilliant. But, you know, we'll try it here. Trample and Reach, and you get a couple of forests. It does count as a ramp spell to a certain degree. Immediately they go in your hand, not into play. But, you know, that's more lands you've got out of your library out of the way. Hit the red sources you need. And because I am playing 40 lands, we've got Zendikar's role in here just to give us some more blockers. Chandra, Awake Infernos here because it can't be countered. We can go from 6 to 8 and give everyone an emblem, which stays with them forever. So that's really nice from that point of view. I'm not worried about trying to get the -X off on this, by the way, or the -3. I'm just doing this for the +2 every turn we get. Devil's Playground, 4 tokens, not great at 6 mana, but it's a nice one to hit off Etali if that's what we end up with. Titana's Command goes and gets us land or creates us some ball tokens, pumps our team up, or exiles someone's library if they're manipulating their graveyard. It's probably one of the first 3, not the last one you'll be doing in Commander. And Vigor. Yeah, I still like Vigor. Sorry, I just do. This is a big ramp deck. We might as well have Vigor in here as well. Runic Thar the Unbowed is here. And whenever it attacks each combat available, whenever a player casts a non-creature spell, it deals 6 damage to them, which can be a lot more, as you'll see in a second. Brass's Bounties help us ramp. Avenger Zendikar, because I'm basically playing a deck full of lands, and why would I not want the Avenger here to get all those nice plant blockers? Zendikar Resurgent helps us make sure we can get the extra mana we need, because Etali will as soon as you play Etali, it will have a big target on its head, 9 times out of 10. But it really shouldn't do from my point of view. When Etali's in play, you just want to leave it alone, because you don't want to be losing cards off the top of your library. Yes, if we flip it into the other side, which I forgot the name of now, the Primal Sickness, then yes, fine. I completely understand why it's going to get Path to Exile, going to get Condemned, going to get Swords to Plowshares, Terrored, etc, etc, etc. I completely understand at that point of view, but most of the time you want to be leaving it alone, so just bear that in mind. Omnath's here because why would you not want the Locus of Raging just to help you get some more blockers, and when those elementals die you get to deal Lightning Bolt anything. But the key card I'm really hoping to hit off Etali is City on Fire. This is why we've got the token generators in. This is why we have a lot of ways of doing it. We want to convoke this out as soon as we can, because basically, and it's a bit of a long shot, I know that, but basically if you've got City on Fire in play, you manage to get Etali into play and it doesn't get removed. If you can hit the Rogue's Passage, target creature can't be blocked this turn. This is a one-shot kill with having to flip it, because you will deal 21 points of commander damage on MTGO and people will die. Likewise, if you've got this in play, they play a non-creature spell, they're taking 18. They kill off all your elementals, they're taking 9. It's silly. It's not seeing. I don't think it's got the respect at the moment I think it should have. Yes, it's really difficult to go and find it. It might be better in a white-red deck where you could actually go and use some of the enchantment search stuff to go and find it. I completely understand that. But I wanted to try it out in here first, because just the thought of making Etali unblockable Rogue's Passage with this in play and hitting someone for 21 points of damage that can't be blocked just appeals to my sick sense of humour. The last few cards, there's only a few left that I chucked in. Blasphemous Act to control the board. The Great Aurora seemed like a good plan. Shuffle all permanents from their hand and all permanents they own into their library, and draw that many cards and get to put all the lands into play. Seemed like a good idea to me. Cracker with Power, just as a backup win condition if we need it in this deck. We have got enough mana that we can make X quite happily big. So, 5 mana for 5 damage, goes up to 2, 4, 6, 8 mana for 10 damage, 11 mana for 15 damage. Yeah, okay. You see how it works. I think it's still worth playing. And finally, I decided I had one slot left. It was either put a 41th land in, I decided against it, and I went, oh, I'll just play Apex Devastator. This is the easiest cut in the deck. This is becoming really expensive in real life. If you want to cut it and put something cheaper in, feel free. It's just me. I just wanted to play it again because I just love the card so much. But that's it. That's my take on Etali Primal Conqueror stroke Sickness. People are playing different versions of it, but I wanted to play a heavy ramp version, which is what I've done this deck tech on today. So let me know what you think. I've missed out down below in the comments. Please hit the like button. Please hit the sub button if you aren't already subscribed to my channel, and hit the bell for the notifications when things come up. Someone did ask me the other day when I do videos come up UK time at midnight on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday UK time. If you're stateside, it's about East Coast 7 o'clock in the evening. From a Sunday to a Wednesday, you'll see the video, so just bear that in mind. But that's it for now. Hope you've liked it. Leave me some comments, let me know what you think, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care, cheers, bye.